Okay, so this time what I want to do is I want to introduce yet another tool, which is called Loft. And it's going to allow me to do something kind of cool like this, which is where you see that this is a square, okay, and this is a round, and it transitions between a square and a round. I could use Loft for other things, but that's what I'm going to be using it for. And this is really handy if I want to make something like, for example, the rook on a chess set. In fact, what I'm actually going to do is make another copy of this Loft example right here. But we're going to do it right now so you can see how you do it right from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Create and make a new document. And I'll call this LoftExample1. Okay, and we'll create a public document. And in this case, what I want to do is I want to be working right on, essentially from the tabletop surface up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead for the moment and hide my front and my right, and we're going to look at this right down on the top. So I'm going to click on this and make me a top-down view. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to create a new sketch. Okay, and I don't need much right here. We're just going to build, essentially, we're going to build our disk right off the start. So I'm going to take a center point circle. I'm going to click it here on the axes, click there, and I said I wanted to make it 20 millimeters, hit enter, boom, I've got myself a 20 millimeter disc or circle, and I'm done with that. Okay, so let's approve it. Now let's take a look at it isometrically. You can see they've just got this flat disc sitting on a flat plane. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to take this and I want to extrude it. And you can see the default is 25. I can drag this down if I want to. But I actually want to be pretty precise. I'm going to make it 3 millimeters so that it matches exactly what I did with this original sort of piece that I'm working to sort of duplicate. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm done with that. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to do the transition. And this is where we're going to use Loft. We want to transition from a circle to a square. Okay? So that means I need another drawing surface. But I can't put a drawing surface right here. I need a drawing surface that's elevated up. And that's where I'm going to put my square. So I'm going to click on the surface. And I'm going to right click. And I'm going to make an offset plane. And I want my offset plane to be, I don't know, let's say 5 millimeters up. Okay? And we're going to say okay with that. And you can see that I now have a new plane, not a drawing plane yet, just an offset plane that's floating in the air. Okay? So I'm going to go to my top-down view again. And I'm going to select my offset plane. Oops, I selected the wrong thing here. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to create a new sketch on my offset plane. And in this case, what I want to have, remember we're working now floating in the air above our disk. I'm going to put a square right here. And I'm going to make that square, I don't know, let's make it, I'll make it 10 by 10. Okay? And we're going to say okay with that. Okay? So let's look at this isometrically. So I've got a square just floating in the air. Alright? So now what we want to do is we want to do our loft. So I'm going to select this. And I want to loft it to this upper surface right here. Oh, dang it. I put that point on there. Hold on. I need to get rid of that point. So I'm going to first off do that. There we go. So I want this surface here, and I'm going to loft it to this. Voila. And I'm going to say OK. And there you have it. Now I have transition from a circle to a square. And let's just go ahead and build this up. Okay, so now what I can do is I can select this, and I can extrude it. Let's not go up 25. Let's go up, I don't know, let's go up 10. All right. No, that's not high enough. Let's go up 15. Okay, and I think we're doing great. All right, so now we want to go ahead and build the other end. Okay, so we're going to build this other side, which then means I need to have another drawing surface. And so I want to take and select this again, and I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to put a new offset plane, and I want it 5 millimeters from that one. All right, so now it's floating up 5 millimeters above it. Now here, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to create a new sketch plane. All right, so we got a new sketch plane, and I'm going to put my circle. Notice how it sucks in like a magnet. It's going right for the center. Okay, so I'm going to click it on the center here, and let's make it, we'll make it the same 20. So I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to type in 20. Okay, so now I've got my 20 millimeters. Let's look at it. Actually, we can leave it right there. Okay, and now what we want to do is we want to take this right here, and we want to loft it to that. And now you can see we're building the other surface. So the last thing we have to do, which is not very hard now, is we simply have to take this surface here and extrude it up our 3 millimeters, and voila. Okay. Now the other cool thing you can do, and I did this before, is we can take this edge. In this case, notice how it's fractured because we have tied it into squares. So I want to do a fillet on it. I can select them like that, and I can select it like that. And now you can see, not a perfect, because we've got these little corners we have to deal with, but you can see we've got a pretty nice lofting example. Okay? And once again, if I wanted to, I could simply select this entire thing, and I can export it as a, give it a name. And I can export it as an STL. And then I can take and import that into my slicing software, and I can actually make that part real. So hopefully that was useful, and I'll see you again soon.